Hello everybody and welcome to the show. This is There's a Will and I'm Will Richardson. And right now I'm standing near the border of Belarus, Poland and Lithuania in the Suwałki corridor, the so-called Suwałki corridor, which begins not far from here. Behind me, if you follow this winding river, you will come in just a few kilometers to the border. In fact, we're not supposed to be beyond the point where this village begins. There's a sign that says, "Turn around, do not come in," because this area is extremely secure. And why? Well, the Belarusian border is just nearby, and it's full of Russian troops in Belarus, and of course, the Ukraine is at war. Now, what does this mean, the Suwałki corridor, and why is it named after Suwałki, and why is it called a corridor? Well, it's well known to military strategists over centuries why this is an important area, but it's lesser known to the general public and to the more mainstream media. But here is an essential place to understand why it needs to be defended extremely carefully. We've got a tractor coming. We'll let him come by. As we see, the tractor stops for no one, and the business of agriculture carries on in the countryside. And well, it should, because we may need the food not too long in the distant future. At any rate, the Suwałki corridor, which is known to military strategists, as I said, not so well known to the general public, if at all, or to the mainstream media, is extremely important. Why? Because it's only 60 kilometers, roughly, separating the border of Belarus from Kaliningrad, which is a Russian semi-state, I suppose you would say, certainly a city with quite a large amount of land around it, which is an armed camp, which is the center of Russian tanks, many thousands of troops, the Baltic fleet, as well as supersonic missiles of the kind recently fired in Lithuania, which can carry nuclear weapons. One of the greatest problems in this area is the ability to move between both the Polish part of the border and the Lithuanian part of the border. There's one 4-lane road and one 2-lane road, and those are the main roads in and out of here. Most of the other roads are 1 lane, a lot of them repaved owing to European Union initiatives, but most of them are quite narrow 1-lane roads. This is an area of agriculture and tourism. It's not an area known for warfare, at least not for a very long time, particularly not these byways. But if you were just to go on a bit of a bike ride, go through this town and keep heading that way along the river, you would follow the river, you'll be at the border very, very soon with Belarus and Lithuania just a bit to the north, and of course we're standing in the territory of Poland. The key thing to happen here is to develop the infrastructure so that it's much easier to move between Poland and the Baltic states. There are a lot of bridges that need to be rebuilt. They cannot stand the heavy armor traffic or tracked vehicles or very heavy trucks even. And at the moment, it would be very hard in the event of a movement, an exercise which has been practiced by the Russians for many years, a movement of troops from Belarus to tie up with Kaliningrad, which would absolutely seal off the Baltic states, which already border on Russia and Belarus, but which would seal off the Baltic states and rather quickly make it impossible for the movement of vehicles of any kind from NATO on either side of the border. This is not something to be recommended. It's not something to make you tremble in your boots, but it's something to prepare for, because we cannot know the mind of Vladimir Putin. We cannot know how far he's willing to go. But we can know is that Belarus is armed to the teeth with the Russians, and so is Kaliningrad, and they're very close by. Kaliningrad, from where I'm standing, less than 40 miles. So there you are. Welcome to the show, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm Will Richardson on the border with Belarus, Lithuania, and Poland in the Suwałki corridor.